Marshal Chaudhary, former chiefs, chairs and panelists, distinguished guests, serving and retired military officers, members of media, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this 13th Jumbo Majumdar International Seminar on this very, very pleasant February morning. The action is already unfolding in Ukraine. We only hope that both sides will show maturity and restraint. And it's a wait and watch for all of us, notwithstanding what is happening over there. The theme for us in this hall today continues to be aerospace, power, and the future challenges. Wing Commander Karun Krishna Jumbo Majumdar, DFC and Bar, was one of the most respected fighter pilots of Indian Air Force. Born in Calcutta in September 1913, his maternal grandfather, W.C. Banerjee, was the co-founder and the first president of the Indian National Congress. Jumbo being over 6 feet tall and well-built, when he was young, they started calling him Jumbo. In 1932, he went to England, joined the Royal Air Force College at Tranmere to become a pilot. And after his training, he returned back to India and joined the newly formed Indian Air Force in 1933. And his two cousins, J.N. Chaudhary and Hem Chaudhary, also joined the armed forces. Jayantonath Chaudhary became the 6th Army Chief, and Hem Chaudhary was the first CO of number 7 Squadron in 1942. As a part of number 1 Squadron, Jumbo flew the Westland Wapatis and Hawker Hart aircraft. Later, he commanded the squadron, taking over the squadron, number 1 Squadron, in June 1941. The squadron moved to Burma in January 1942. And the very next day, the Japanese attacked the squadron base, and Jumbo decided to retaliate. The squadron Westland Lyzanders were converted with two 250-pound bombs by another legend of Indian Air Force, Harjinder Singh. And on 2nd February, just 2 days after the attack, Jumbo flew solo, low level, and attacked the Japanese air base called Mae Hong Son. He targeted the hangar and destroyed the hangar and all the aircraft that were inside the hangar. Next day, he led the entire squadron to attack the same air base, and they destroyed the remaining air base completely. On one of the occasions, Jumbo had an engine malfunction and had to force land in the jungle, and thereafter he had to trek out from there and make it back to his base. For his operations in Burma, he was given the Distinguished Flying Cross. He then spent 2 years in the Air Force in training and other operational assignments. Later, he volunteered in 1944 to fly in the European theater. And in March 1944, he moved to England, joined the Royal Air Force, and he converted to North American Mustangs. In between, Jumbo had also become a wing commander. He was the first wing commander. He's the first Indian to pick up the wing commander's rank. But because he had to join the Royal Air Force Squadron, he had to revert back to the rank of squadron leader. And his 100-day tour in the European theater started in June 1944. He flew 65 sorties on Mustangs and Hawker Typhoons. And he did 2 outstanding photo recce missions, pictures of which were used by Field Marshal Montgomery to carry out his offensive finally. And for this, he was given bar to DFC in January 1945, and thus became the most highly decorated Indian pilot of the World War II. Because of his superb piloting skills and indomitable spirit, Life magazine featured him in the issue of 15th May 1944 as one among the 12 best airmen of the world. On afternoon of 17th February, that is just a few days earlier than today's date, Majumdar took part in a flying display at Walton in Lahore, flying a Hawker Hunter. This aircraft had a history of past snags. Harjinder Singh, a flying officer Harjinder Singh, had cautioned him about it, but he chose to fly the same aircraft. And during the dive, in the aerobatic routine, there was a malfunction, and the aircraft did not recover from the dive and crashed headlong. It was a fatal accident, and he was just 31 years old. Following inscription appears on the head of the tombstone in Lahore. Go passers by and do, if you can, as he did, a man's part in defense of liberty. I have been in touch with Jumbo's son and daughter. Unfortunately, his son in July 19, and there is his great legacy. We in CAPS have got 4 verticals, one on aerospace, one on Indo-Pacific, India's neighborhood, and nuclear power and strategy. Now, each vertical publishes a newsletter every quarter, every fortnight. Each vertical is publishing a book. We'll publish a book every year, starting this year. And each vertical carries out seminars through the year. So that is how we work in CAPS now. And under each vertical, today's event seminar is being organized for aerospace power and future challenges. And we intend to look at aerospace power, evolving technologies, and the roadmap ahead. We have some outstanding professionals and industry leaders who are participating as panelists or chairs. Atmanirbharta is clearly the flavor of the season. This year's defense budget has also increased the funds for indigenization. Also, the aerospace and maritime domain have got a larger amount of capital funds. This is keeping in view the geostrategic situation and also the importance of air and maritime power. India's light combat aircraft Tejas and the advanced multi-combat aircraft AMCA are the flagships of India's entire defense indigenization. We are happy. We've just seen the LCAs have just returned back from Singapore. They have taken part in many, many international air shows, and they are all getting set. 5 of them will be going to UK for their first major international exercise at long distance. There is a great action evolving in space, artificial intelligence, hypersonic, cyber, and electronic warfare, and they are witnessing the attention of most of the armed forces of the world. Air defense, too, is facing new challenges the world over because of the integrated multi-domain environment. The ecosystem in India for fighter production has been fully set with LCA variants already flowing. So has the ecosystem for the helicopter development has been fully set with large number of variants. And now with C295W going to be manufactured in India and SARAS also coming up, we hope that the ecosystem for transport aircraft will also get fully established. Industry leaders, some of the major aerospace corporations are here with us today, and they're going to talk about the global roadmap of the manned fighters, unmanned platforms, and future of digital engineering and aerospace manufacturing. We'll get to listen to all this and much more in the event today. I want to tell you that not only the hall is full, the entire Indian Air Force and a large number of veterans, including former air chiefs, are watching this event live this moment. We are indeed grateful to Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary, Chief of Air Staff, to be the guest of honor and to deliver the inaugural address. After his address, I'm going to request him to kindly release a CAPS book authored by Air Marshal Dheeraj Kukreja titled China, the Enigma. I now request the Air Chief to kindly address the gathering.